Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Saturday, May 2nd, handsome Jimmy Valiant is coming to Tupelo for TupeloCon. Sunday, May 3rd, WWE Hall of Famer Boogie Woogie Main Jimmy Valiant returns to the Wrestle Center, presented by Cinco de Mayo Bar and Grill. Friday, May 8th, Southern Extreme Wrestling presents Brutally Savage in Forest City, Arkansas, featuring Brutal Bob Evans. Sunday, May 31st, Big Vito is coming to Memphis Wrestling, presented by Cinco de Mayo Bar and Grill. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Attention wrestling fans, do you want to watch every WWE premium live event no matter where you are in the world? Well, I've got the ultimate tag team partner for you, Surfshark VPN. With Surfshark, you can unlock content from anywhere on the globe. What this means is no more block streams, no more restrictions, just wall-to-wall action. Imagine catching WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series live no matter what country you're in. And here's the best part. By using my affiliate link, which is tinyurl.com/ that's a backslash. It's VPN STS Talk. You'll also score an exclusive huge savings plus an extra 3 months absolutely free. That's right, 3 bonus months of unlimited access, total online privacy, and the power to stream every WWE pay-per-view like a true champion. And don't get counted out. Hit the link. It is tinyurl.com/ that's a backslash. It's VPN STS Talk. Go to that link and make sure you never miss a single second of the action again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step in the ring with pain relief. When back pain, neck pain, and stress tries to body slam you into the mat, there is only one tag team partner you can trust.
Vitality Chiropractic in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. The champions of chiropractic care. With a dedicated team of professionals, they're not just adjusting spines, they're adjusting lives. Whether you're battling aches, pains, or just need to feel like a brand new you, Vitality Chiropractic has the moves to get you back on top of your game. Personalized care, effective treatments, and a commitment to your health and vitality.
You don't have to tap out to pain. Pick up the phone. Dial 870-523-2225. That is 870-523-2225, brother. And schedule your appointment today. Vitality Chiropractic serving Jonesboro and Newport. Step in the ring with pain and walk out a champion of health. Vitality Chiropractic, because your spine deserves the main event. 1, 2, 3. Wrestling fans, are you ready? Every Friday night in Osceola, Arkansas, MCW, the legacy continues. Live, hard-hitting, family-friendly wrestling action every Friday night at the MCW Arena, located at 1098 West Kaiser. Doors open at 6:30 and the action starts at 8 p.m. sharp. Don't miss your chance to see the stars of MCW battling out in the ring, rivals, drama, and slam-packed action. Here's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, I want you to search Facebook. for Osceola's Mid-Southern Championship Wrestling. All ticket information, how to get your ticket, what time the show starts, everything right there on Facebook. All tickets are on sale right now. Be there! Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. All right, folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best-selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant reapplication. Whether it's solo time, or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience, Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod. STSPOD for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid. The best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more. Because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for Cassette Wrestling News. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne and John Seaton sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Cassette Wrestling News, a comprehensive look at the world of professional wrestling, featuring the latest news from all wrestling organizations, updates on the wrestlers themselves, commentaries and contributions from wrestling fans all over the world, plus interviews with the stars, comments from John Seaton, and much, much more. We hope you enjoy this edition of Cassette Wrestling News. And now, here's your host, Jeff Osborne.
Hello once again, wrestling fans. Welcome to issue number 61 of CWN. I am Jeff Osborne.
This is Sean.
This is Harvey.
And you say the best for last, this is John Seaton.
Sean, not so loud. Want to lead off with a big story, and I'd hate to start the show off on a sad note, but the passing of one of wrestling's legends, Dick the Bruiser. I understand, Harvey, you have a story that came off the Newswire, I believe the day after Dick the Bruiser passed away. And I'm going to go ahead and read that right now.
Yeah, Jeff, I work at the Evansville Courier Company, and this came off the Associated Press Newswire. It says, Richard Atlas, professional wrestling's Dick the Bruiser, who was heavyweight wrestling champion 5 times, died after working out at his vacation home in Florida. Family members said the raspy-voiced 62-year-old Indianapolis resident collapsed Sunday afternoon while lifting weights at Indian Shores near Tampa, Florida. Please, John.
John, please.
Flannery Buchanan High School Road Mortuary in Indianapolis is handling arrangements. No plans for services or calling have been made. He had a hernia from straining himself. Louise Rhea Iacono Atlas, his wife of 38 years, said Monday from Florida. He had ruptured himself and didn't realize it, and it got worse. The complications set in, and bingo. His death came just 3 weeks after a Southern Indiana match that proved to be the final encounter of his 35-year career. John, I don't need to still be doing this, but I do it because I still enjoy it, Atlas said in a 1988 interview with the Indianapolis Star. You know, I'll hear the statement all the time, geez, I'm getting too old for this. I've never had that feeling, not once. I've thought I hurt and I can't walk, but I've never thought that this is it. He just wouldn't quit, said Chuck Marlowe, a freelance sportscaster from WTTV Channel 4, who was commentator for Atlas's matches for TV's now-defunct Championship Wrestling from 1957 to 1970. Dick probably weighed as much as when he died as he did when he worked, said Marlowe. At 62 years old and carrying 250 to 260 pounds, it's too much. Atlas got his Bruiser nickname in the early 50s while an offensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers, but the Lafayette native's rough-and-tumble reputation already had been sealed at Purdue University in West Lafayette, where he reportedly was kicked off the football team. They had a bed check, and he didn't make it back one night, said Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was in Utica, New York, Monday, preparing for a World Wrestling Federation TV show. They got on his case, and he took matters into his own hands. He hit the coach with his helmet. Bruiser would walk down the aisle in Chicago, and the people would chant, "We want blood," recalled Heenan, who worked with Atlas in Indianapolis and throughout the Midwest from 1965 to 1974. He would give them blood, all right, not his, but mine. He was the toughest man I ever met in my life. I didn't go to too many of his matches because I couldn't handle it, Mrs. Atlas recalled. I've only been to about 10 matches in my life. After leaving Purdue, Atlas went to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and graduated with an engineering degree in 1950. He later worked as a bouncer in Las Vegas before hitting the big time in pro wrestling. Promoters and others said Bruiser drew sellout crowds in virtually every arena he appeared in, from Market Square Arena in Indianapolis to Madison Square Garden in New York City. He was one of the greatest drawing cards St. Louis ever had, said Sam Muchnick, the longtime former National Wrestling Alliance promoter who worked with Atlas in the 50s and 60s. During his prime in the mid-60s, Atlas reportedly earned $100,000 a year, the first pro wrestler to do so. His trademark scowl, crew-cut hairstyle, and gravel voice, the result of a football injury to the larynx, helped earn him the prime-time marquee billing as the world's most dangerous wrestler. Other survivors include a daughter, Michelle R. Replogle, of Fort Wayne, a son, Carl W. Atlas of Indianapolis, and 9 grandchildren.
It's a sad note. Not only has Dick the Bruiser passed away, but at the age of 58, Gene Anderson. John, have you got something to say about this?
Yes, Jeff, it's truly a sad day in pro wrestling because we've lost two of the great legends, two Hall of Famers. If pro wrestling had a Hall of Fame, these men would certainly be in it. Gene Anderson, famous over the Minnesota Wrecking Crew with Ole Anderson, and the great, great Dick the Bruiser have passed away. I may never be the same again, Jeff.
Okay, we mourn the loss of two of wrestling's greatest wrestlers ever. And I want to thank you, Harv, and you, Sean, for...
Hold it, Jeff. First you had the spiffy new intro. Now you have Sean Mooney on the show?
No, he's not Sean Mooney.
Shawn Michaels?
No. All right.
Well, here's the second part of the Preston Still interview.
I have a tryout for you in a camp in Freedom, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour from where I was living at the time. So he told me to call a number and ask for Dominic, and I did, and it was this Italian fella, and I could barely understand him, but I called him, and he says, yeah, you come down, and then we're going to have a little workout. So I did, and much to my surprise, and it was a shock, and what an honor for me is I met my boyhood hero, Dominic DeNucci, and I just can't explain the feeling I had. Wow, this is great. And to make an already long story short, I guess, there was 22 people trying out for 15 positions, and this was the last week. And I know it sounds like a fairy tale to you, but I went into the ring with him. He threw me around, and he says, hey, not bad. And we were trying this new move where you stand outside the ring and you hold on to the rope, and then he would snap you into the ring and land on your back in the middle of the ring. Well, everyone could do that. And he says, now, let's try it. You land in the middle of the ring on your feet. And out of the 22 guys, I was the only one that could do it. So then he pulled me off to the side, and he says, hey, I'd like to have you. He says, I have another guy picked out, and my 15 positions are filled. And if you'd like to do it, I'd like you as my student. And I told him, yeah. And he went over and told the rest of the guys to leave. Boy, there was a lot of heat on me then, I'll tell you.
What are your ambitions in wrestling?
Well, I'd like to obtain a full contract, either in the WWF or WCW, which are the top promotions in America and probably in the world, and work my way up to the top. But you know, another ambition I really have, and there's a lot of talk starting up about possibly forming a full-time wrestling federation in Australia. And I got to tell you, I would be very interested in working down there on a full-time basis.
Now, do you think there is a future in Australia for wrestling?
Oh, yes, definitely. I know that the WWF hasn't been here in several years, and you really don't have any on television. But I think the key is, the first step you have to do is get a federation or two federations. Even two isn't bad because competition is good no matter what you do. So if you can get it on television on a full-time, steady basis where the people know that on Friday or Saturday night at a certain time they can tune in and watch it, or even during the week and watch it, get familiar with who the wrestlers are, then you can make it a very profitable thing, not only for the wrestlers, but for anyone deciding to run the promotion. And that's where you establish your territories and so forth. And as far as I'm concerned, Australia is a territory, and I just love it. I tell you, it was the greatest experience of my life.
Have you read any of the sheets, such as Wrestling Observer, Pro Wrestling Torch, and MacWatch? And what do you think of them?
Yeah, I do read them, and actually, that's how I found out a lot of my information about what's going on in the business.
The fans of Wrestling Down Under want to know, how old are you, and when is your birthday?
Well, I'm old enough to know better, but young enough to still want to do it. And my birthday is May 26th.
Can you tell us what you think of these people who are connected with wrestling? Jim Cornette.
Yeah, he's the premier manager in pro wrestling today.
Paul E. Dangerously.
He makes a better commentator than a manager.
Ric Flair.
He's probably the man I most admire because of his abilities.
Joel Goodhart.
He's probably the up-and-coming promoter in the States today. He's trying to take wrestling back to the way it was, and he appears to be having great success at doing it.
Hulk Hogan.
What else can you say? He's the greatest champion of all time.
Lex Luger.
He's probably the strongest wrestler I've ever known, but I don't know if his ego can handle a world championship.
Joe Pedicino.
His Global Wrestling Federation is steadily growing and is showing a lot of promise.
Vince McMahon.
Quite obviously the mastermind behind today's wrestling.
Nick Karsh.
He's the most underrated commentator and ring announcer in pro wrestling today. He has a great voice, great attitude, and he's willing to tell you exactly how he feels. I think he's got a lot of promise.
Rob Russin.
Well, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that he is probably the best independent promoter in the business today. I've known Rob personally for several years, and when he sets his mind to something, it gets done, and it gets done right. That's why the IWA is so popular in America.
Sting.
He wears a lot of makeup.
Jesse Ventura.
Him too. He wears a great lampshade on his head.
Sid Justice.
Finally, there's some true justice in the WWF.
What do you think of Australia, of what you saw of it, and would you like to come back?
I've traveled around the world. I've been in a lot of countries. I've been all over the United States, and I got to tell you, the people of Australia treated us just fantastic. I mean, they are the nicest people I've ever met, and I'm not just saying that because I'm doing this interview. I've come back to the States. I've told everyone I miss Australia. These people are great. Your country is beautiful. I love it, and I would not hesitate to come back there in a minute. Matter of fact, I'm hoping that some of these people that are doing their talking about running a full-time promotion there in Australia, I hope that they do, and I hope I get an opportunity to come back because I will.
Jeff Osborne, Cassette Wrestling News, this is Chief Jewel Strongbow. You show up, you'll go down. I show up, I stay up. Hang in there. But Osborne, don't mess around. I hear you're a clown.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listening to Cassette Wrestling News. This is Joel Goodhart from the offices of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. And this past Sunday, we held a press conference here in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Original Sports Bar with many of the major media from the wrestling press in attendance, where we announced the entire card for Winter Challenge 3, scheduled for Saturday, January 25th, with a 7:30 start here in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Civic Center, Pennsylvania Hall. This will be probably the largest independent card ever, as the TWA continues to make a name for itself on a national and international basis. The main event, actually there are 4 main events, and I'm not sure which one gets top billing, but the one that the wrestling press and wrestling media seems to be most involved with is the main event. It has been signed for the TWA Heavyweight Championship. The current champion, Nature Boy Buddy Landell, has agreed to put his title on the line, going up against former WWF Heavyweight Champion and former NWA Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. That's right, it will be a battle of the Nature Boys, a battle of the Buddies. It will be for the TWA Heavyweight title, and as announced Sunday at the press conference, kind of as a settlement to both, the special guest referee will be none other than myself, Joel Goodhart, Commissioner of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. It's going to be a wild match. Buddy Rogers coming out of retirement. His first match was in 1939, so he will be the second wrestler that I know of to wrestle in 7 decades, Luthez being the first, Buddy Rogers being the second, and coming out of retirement on Saturday, January 25th at Winter Challenge 3. Also on the card, a match that we're calling All Hell Breaks Loose. It will be Kevin Sullivan versus Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. However, there will be special stipulations in this match. And the story behind this, obviously, is that on Wrestling Radio here in Philadelphia, we put it to a vote as to what type of match the fans would want to see. A fans participation lumberjack match where all the fans are circling around the ring, throwing the wrestlers back in if they're thrown out, or a pins count anywhere in the building match where obviously pins count anywhere in the building. And the TWA has basically put both those types of matches on the map. Well, the vote, after 2 weeks of tabulating, the vote was so close that we decided to put both together into one match. The rules will be simple. 9 fans will be selected to be lumberjacks, 3 on 3 different sides of the ring. on the fourth side of the ring where there'll be no lumberjacks. If the wrestlers are thrown out that end, they have the opportunity of going all over the building. So a fan's participation, pins count anywhere in the building match between Kevin Sullivan and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Also on the card, a match that is actually from All Japan, although not sanctioned by All Japan. Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy will bring their tag team strength to the States and going up against their foes from Japan, Dan Crockett and Doug Furness, and yes, that match will occur in Philadelphia. Also on that card, the match sanctioned by New Japan Pro Wrestling will have Owen Hart returning to Philadelphia, going up against Shiro Koshinaka. I hope I pronounced that right. Samurai Shiro Koshinaka coming in from Japan to go up against Owen Hart. So actually, this is probably one of the first cards, if not the first card, where All Japan and New Japan are actually going to appear on the same card in the States. Also scheduled on the card, the Black Hearts with Luna Vachon will be defending their TWA tag team titles, except it was almost impossible to determine who the challengers would be. So on that card, the two #1 contenders at the time will go up against each other, with the winner of that match getting the Black Hearts that night. Right now, the two #1 contenders are the Dog Pound of Johnny Hotbody and Larry Winters, and the newly formed tag team of J.T. Smith and D.C. Drake. And we'll certainly see that team, by the way, is managed by a woman, so it's possible that woman against Luna, anything can happen in Philadelphia. Also on the card will be a 5-on-5 match similar to Japan, where the rules are pin, submission, or being thrown out of the ring in a way of getting eliminated, with 10 stars of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. So a lot of things happening in Philadelphia. Winter Challenge 3, Winter Wipeout, we're calling it. This is going to be the biggest independent card of the year, and I know that a lot of CWN listeners will be heading into Philadelphia. We'll be announcing in the next couple of weeks certain events that we're going to wrap around. Obviously, the next day is the Super Bowl. We're going to be putting together some luncheons, a convention, and etc. So why don't you make plans to come on into Philadelphia with Jeff Osborne and his crew from Cassette Wrestling News. And this is Joel Goodhart from the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance saying we'll see you at Winter Challenge 3 Winter Wipeout, the Battle of the Nature Boys for the TWA Heavyweight title. Nature Boy Buddy Landell, the current champion, going up against challenger Nature Boy Buddy Rogers right here in Philadelphia. See you at the matches.
So long from the peach state of Georgia. Oops, I'm sorry. This is the Japanese Wrestling Report with Mike Lano. I wanted to thank Vince DePalma because it looks like everybody's straightened out. And big news. I want to start by saying what I'm doing on my TV show Canvas Cavity, as well as some of the radio stuff that I do, is I'm asking everybody who loves pro wrestling to send at least $1 to John Arizzi's Pro Wrestling Spotlight. Let's save Pro Wrestling Spotlight, because what Dave Meltzer did for the sheets and the importance of Dave, John Arizzi is just as important. If you looked at Matwatch, Torch, and Observer, the lead story a few weeks ago was Eddie Gilbert on John Arizzi's Pro Wrestling Spotlight. You know, he's important. I think we all should support him. I don't have his exact address in Babylon, New York, but everybody, let's cough up $1 or $2. Let's send it to John. Let's obviously keep Herb Abrams away from taking that show. Here's the guy who spent everybody else's money in a trash TV show, and now he wants to take away the best radio show on there. I say BS. Let's save John Arizzi's show. Also, what does Ted Turner's acquisition of Hanna-Barbera do for the company? I won't even go into that, but with Jerry Jarrett possibly coming in whatever position, how will Jarrett and Lawler make Paulie Dangerously feel? Poor Paulie Dangerously, he just doesn't deserve this. But, fiscal guys like Jarrett are at least going to save this company $1, and perhaps that's what needs to be done, although with Hurd's idiocy, I don't know how he's going to gel with a true wrestling person like Jarrett, but salutes and kudos on that one. Also, my Canvas Cavity TV show, this really doesn't have much to do with Japan, folks, but I guess was seen, it's airing now in Germany, Japan, and Australia. And I guess I'm going to have to be flying out to Australia soon to shoot some localized footage talking about it. But in Japan, Luthez called me up, and I'm to put together a 2-hour piece of the footage I have on Thez for a 2-hour Thez special to air in Japan. And it looks like, unfortunately, Inoki's going to be wrestling Tiger Jeet Singh instead of even a Harley Race or a Dory Jr. I was looking forward to. I'll be in Japan the first 2 weeks in January. Anybody wanting souvenirs of any of the groups or what have you, I'm going to be there. I'm also going to be there for Scazzari's AWF. the 14th and 15th of December, and I want to thank him for making every wrestling fan's dream come true. You know, if Joe Pedicino's having some hard times and can't get it going, let's watch for these guys, and maybe they can all work together, help Pedicino, help this AWF, help out Goodhart and Coraluzzo. But, I mean, these guys are doing it all for us, and I say we should all support not only Pro Wrestling Spotlight, but every single guy out there that's trying to combat, or just trying to put together a promotion to please all of us. Also, since Medusa is supposed to sign her contract in January, and she's going to be away for 5 whole weeks, this brings about something interesting. Well, her contract may not even occur till after Herd gets fired or hired. I broke the news on my show, Pro Wrestling Spotlight, that Jeannie Clark and Missy Hyatt, as well as poor old Teddy Long, but Missy Hyatt and Jeannie Clark, their contracts were not renewed, and somebody told Jeannie Clark that even though she's a young woman, that she's looking old, and I just find that obscene and vile. As much as I care for Medusa, and I think we all do, I think she can't be the lead female heel. There's got to be some others, and of course Missy, that may not be the spot for her in that role, but I'm asking, and I've urged all my TV viewers the last few weeks to write directly to Ted Turner. If you're sick and upset with all these Herd and Rhodes crappy things like this Van Hammer idiot, who somebody said wisely signifies everything that's wrong with pro wrestling. I think Wade and Meltzer said that. Any of these gimmick things and Jeannie and Missy not being kept on with the company, I just say write to Ted Turner, call him, combat this stuff. We don't have to boycott because that won't occur, but I say let's write to the guy and tell him these guys are blithering idiots. I don't care, as Eddie Gilbert said, if it's Jimmy Crockett or if it's Jerry Jarrett. Let's get some wrestling people in there before this company dies before our very eyes. Combate kurosai, domo arigato gozaimashite.
Thanks, Dr. Mike Lano. We'll be hearing from Lano again on the very first part of The Other Side. Right now, what I want to talk about, and Mike alluded to the fact that Herb Abrams, I just talked to Gordon Scazzari, president of the American Wrestling Federation. He has issued a lawsuit to Mr. Scazzari. He's issued one to Lano. He wants $50,000.
Hey, Jeff. Let me just say this right off the record. In my opinion, lawsuits are for pansies. These men have a dispute between each other. Hey, they should get in the ring. They should settle their differences like the promoters should be settling their differences like the wrestlers that wrestle for them. They should be getting in the ring and wrestling. They should not be having these lawsuits.
John, please settle down. I agree with you on that. Why?
Hey, you're talking to a man who was going to get sued for saying that he wants Jim Herd dead. I want Jim Herd taken out, but not that way.
You want to take him out?
No. Anyway, Jeff, I'm issuing a challenge right here, right now. I will wrestle any promoter who has any qualms with any other promoter. I will wrestle Herb Abrams if he has the guts and intellectual force to accept my challenge, Jeff. What do you have to say to that, you hippie?
John, I would pay to see that.
So would I.
I'd pay for it. Any intelligent wrestling fan would pay to see that. Abrams, here's Abrams had the...
I mean, how tough can he be? His first name's Herb.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, Jeff, I pity the man because I've gotten a lesson in John Seaton 101, and it's not a pretty sight. So, Abrams, you better watch out.
Let me tell you something, Jeff. The hippie speaks the truth. And if Herb Abrams has long hair, God pity him.
John, now I got to say something here. When Herb Abrams issues a lawsuit to a 14-year-old who publishes a newsletter to 30 people, that is getting sick.
I have no money.
Okay. There you go, Herb.
Why don't you tell him the value of that lawsuit, Jeff?
I believe he's winning something $2.5 million. I could be wrong.
From a 14-year-old child.
14-year-old. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to pull that out of his pocket. That is the intelligence level of Mr. Herb Abrams.
The kid may have to sell his Nintendo games, Jeff.
All right, another thing Mike Lano was talking about is that Jerry Jarrett may be replacing Jim Herd and Dusty, but I've heard that... I've heard enough about them re-signing Herd for another year. What could happen if Jerry Jarrett took over the WCW? Maybe he would up his $40 guarantees a night to $50, but I'm just kidding.
his guarantees, the pay that he pays scales a wrestler. He doesn't make that much business in the Memphis area anymore. If he went down in the WCW area, he could be a hell of a lot better promoter and a hell of a lot better booker than Dusty Rhodes, Jack Patrick, and Jim Herd. This man would upgrade the wrestling there to the point where, you know, it would be competitive again and wrestlers wouldn't go there. But as far as I'm concerned, I have no opinion.
What? Didn't you just express your opinion? What? You know, I was talking to a former USWA wrestler. What would happen if they ran some Jerry Lawler angles or Memphis angles down in WCW? They would actually draw some money. You know, like the Billy Travis, Jerry Lawler car smashing incident. That was one of the most convincing angles I've ever seen.
But Jeff, you got to realize what may work in the Memphis area may not work anywhere else.
But you see, it's not
geographic, Jeff.
It's not geographic. It's what it isn't.
You know it is.
What isn't working, John? What isn't working in the Memphis area? They have a much bigger market.
Look. In the Memphis area, they're grasping straws. They're trying anything and everything to get the people in, to draw the people, but it's not working. Maybe Jerry Jarrett ought to apply his trade somewhere else, start afresh, start a new slate with a bunch of new talent, use similar angles, but, you know, that probably wouldn't work. The hardcore Memphis stuff that he's used to promoting would not work down in WCW. That's not what they're used to.
I got to disagree with you there, John.
Who the hell cares?
I got to disagree, too, because if you see the angles...
I disagree, too. Shut up, hippie.
Now, come on. You look at the Jerry Lawler, Eddie Gilbert car angle.
Your hair's longer than your IQ. Shut the hell up.
What? You look at these angles, and they're so intense and so powerful, and you have this as much as I like Cactus Jack, I'm ashamed to see him in an angle with this stupid box where you know Sting is going to come out of it. It's so predictable, and it's so primitive, where you get a Memphis angle, and it's so...
Oh, yeah. Don't forget in the early 70s when Jerry brought out the crate, and it had Frankenstein in it.
It was intense.
That would not work in WCW.
Why not? Look what they're doing. This Van Crapper junk. John, nothing. Let's just go to the second part of the Owen Hart interview, okay? I don't want to argue with you.
Owen Hart ought to be as exciting as Harvey's little epilogue for Dick the Bruiser. Come on, Jeff.
Are you saying Owen Hart is not exciting?
The man's boring, okay?
Boring?
The man is boring.
No way, man. I'm afraid you're outnumbered 3-1, John.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's go. I believe we're going to be switching over to the second side here momentarily.
Y'all against me!
John, we're going to be switching over to the second side momentarily.
Quit drawing moves on the car!
We hope you've enjoyed Side A of Cassette Wrestling News. Now turn over to Side B.
Folks, I want to remind everyone that the number to call Saturday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time is 1-900-FUN-8600. You'll hear Reverend Mark like you've never heard him before, as well as Chris Cruz, Dr. Mike Lano, and many others. It's just a fun line. I believe it's $2 the first minute, $1 each additional minute. Again, the number at 1-900-FUN-8600. Chris and Mike will answer your questions to the best of their knowledge, and usually that's where you hear the latest scoops towards the end of the week. For those of you who have not seen Video Cassette Wrestling News Volume 1, it is still available for $13. So if you haven't checked that out, and I really know you want to, it'd make a great Christmas gift. Yeah, right. That is $13 again. Get in touch with me. I've just got a hold of some 79 Memphis, 2 tapes of that, and also 8 tapes of the Continental Wrestling Federation booked by Eddie Gilbert. And, speaking of videotapes, Michael Joy will be along next issue to offer a raw footage videotape, raw footage from around the United States. It should be very, very interesting. I will be getting a copy within the next week. I'll review that for the next issue of CWN, and he will make it available to the public. As well as next issue, I will try to run the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers interview, the rest of it, as well as Dennis Carluzzo. I apologize to both of these men for not getting these interviews out. And next issue, Evan Ginsberg will be back with his nostalgic commentary. Now I guess we can turn the tape over to the other side.
Hit me with your first shot. Each month, a guest brings the very first album they ever bought, the one that started it all. Brian Trammell, the longtime producer of The Record Store, listens to it. Then they break it down track by track. From guilty pleasures to timeless classics, it's all about nostalgia, stories, and how that first shot of music shaped who they are today. Tune in for laughs, memories, and fresh takes on the albums that kicked off a lifelong love of music. The first album that hit you, track by track. Where your first record takes the stage. Rewinding to the music that started it all. Hit me with your first shot.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at uswapodcast.com.
Hey, I want to talk about one of our sponsors, BEAR. B-A-R-E, period. That's right. Their tagline is Eat Better, Live Better. And I'm speaking from experience here. That's right. The better things you put in your body, the better you feel. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas because, well, they prep all my meals, and they don't put any of those artificial flavorings or seasonings in their food. It's just the bare ingredients. You see what I did there? Here's how it works. You choose the meals you want in your desired pickup location from their easy-to-use website. Your meals are ready Monday morning and available for pickup based on the hours of the location. They have 7 locations right here in Jonesboro, 2 in Paragould and 1 in Brooklyn. Go to bear870.com and place your order today. So here's what I want you to do. Get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off and use our code STSPodClub. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. Are you enjoying the episode? Well, Cash App us. That's right, $BTSTS. You don't have Cash App? Download it and get $5. That's right, $5. That's $BTSTS. $BTSTS. All right, folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best-selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant reapplication. Whether it's solo time or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience, Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod. STSPOD for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid. The best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more. Because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life.
Smoking weed, drinking beer, wrestling on TV, staying up late just watching WA. It's a work, it's a shoot, you don't know what.
Let's put on the brakes for just a couple minutes here. I want to talk about my old buddy, Sleazy E. That's right, Sleazy E, as always, he has his pages, his links. His links are at, well, they're on Link of All Links. They're on stspod.club. Go there. Hit his links. He's got an album. He does music, wrestling. He's the man. Wow. Do me a favor. Go over there and hit his link on my Link of All Links and go to all of his links. Love me some Sleazy E. Love my mom.
Smoking weed, drinking beer, wrestling on the TV, staying up late just watching.
Buenos nachos, amigos, y Vince de Palma. This is Mike Leno with the Japan Report. Before I get into that, I realize my shortcomings. I know Arena opened up a can of worms by printing that letter from KC, and honestly, what I try to do is not name drop, but since I've been in the business since '68 as a photographer, and when I was going through it, as many are now, the photographers were always stuck-up guys like a Dan Westbrook or somebody like that. They'd never, ever talk to fan club writers like myself. I had a fan club in the late 60s and 70s. And when I name drop, I'm not name dropping so much as trying to share with you some of these things that otherwise you wouldn't hear about how nice and genuine these guys are. Today is Friday, the 8th, and Abby and Cactus are in town doing a show. They did Fort Ord near Carmel last night, and that's only because David Crockett and Dillinger and Grizzly Smith wanted to golf at nearby Pebble Beach. I'm sure they ended up going elsewhere because Pebble Beach, it's about $175 a person a day, and we know they're not going to spend that kind of money unless it's on Crockett's charge card for WCW. But be that as it may, those guys are okay. The show was packed, a lot of freebies, but all the military guys enjoyed it. They came up today, finally got to take some impressions as Abby, and then Cactus and Abby took me out for some Chinese food. Abby wanted to make sure that I mentioned that he paid for my meal and didn't try to sponge any money off me or whatever. He was a perfect gentleman. He's leaving for Japan in just about 2 weeks, he's going to work the whole tag team tournament. He was very surprised to know or learn that Sheik Eddie Farhad, that's the original and only Sheik, and nephew Sabu are working for Onita for FMW. He was very surprised. He thought that only he could book Sheik and only he can work with Sheik and all that. But since it's a tag tournament, I told him, well, Sheik doesn't have to do any work. He'll let his kid do the work, and they'll be fine because, as everyone knows, Sabu is a tremendous talent, a great worker, and Cassette Wrestling News, those guys have been pushing, Osborne has been pushing Sabu for a long time, as well as Sikowski. Lightning Kid is in the UWFI, and Scott Hudson also reports that he's doing real well there. You know, Bill Eadie, I don't know what it is that he can do or not do, but he hasn't booked anybody hardly except the big, terrible giant who's no longer really hardly working except independents into New Japan. But Lightning Kid Sean Walton is working UWFI or UWF1. It looks like Chris Love and boyfriend Eric Fontaine are out of the business, or at least right now. It's really kind of sad. There's no work to be had for anybody hardly in the U.S., and Jerry Jarrett just pays so little. It's insulting to these poor boys. Also, Handsome Stranger is not going to be received very well. He did the disloyal bit to Global. They can't really offer everybody big contracts, but going to WCW for that tryout, when he comes back, he's not going to get a push. He's not going to have a program with Scotty Levy when he comes back to Global, hat in hand. Medusa right now is in Germany, as we reported. She gave me a call from there. She's doing real well. A lot of people are buying up cassettes and compact discs from Japan stuff, and I've told her, try to get a European record contract, do something like that while you're over there. She is going to try. Let's see, what else is happening? I've been encouraging people on my Canvas Cavity TV show, which is running real well. We show Japan footage. In fact, last night we aired for the first time on US TV the whole Onita landmine match. We aired Best of Bull Nakano. We aired Debbie Malenko over there and some more All Japan men. And we urged our viewers to contact Ted Turner personally, write letters in care of WTBS, and write Ted Turner personally. Let them know what you like and don't like about the product that you're seeing in WCW. I personally wrote to Ted Turner a bunch of letters myself saying really the only thing that I feel anybody's watching right now or tuning in for, besides a few of the matches that Dustin Rhodes is putting out, is Cactus and Abby. That's it. And I've been saying, if you're unhappy with Jim Herd and Jack Petrick for allowing his pal or partner in crime, Jim Herd, there, write Ted Turner directly, let him know what you think, and buenos nachos amigos, adios, buenos, whatever. Good wrestling to you. Adios.
About Mexico, you talked yesterday about doing the Blue Blazer with a mask down there. Are you going to be doing that again, or?
Well, it's been about 5 trips now, I think, 5 or 6 trips to Mexico, and the first 4 I did masked. I was masked as a Blue Blazer, and then on my last trip I took the mask off and started wrestling as just regular as Owen Hart. And it's funny how that mask seems to restrict you emotionally, because in Mexico, when I didn't have the mask on, I seemed to have a lot more rapport with the crowd, and I under a mask, you're just another one. Like they maybe know that you're not a Mexican, but you're just kind of another mask guy. And there's so many mask guys. There's nothing unique about it, And all of a sudden, I came out as a Canadian, and usually it's always a blonde-headed American that's always going USA. In Mexico, that gets big heat, Yeah. It's like doing the Russian gimmick in Canada or US. So by me going out to Mexico and just being a Canadian and total babyface, patting the kids on the head, or Arriba Mexico or whatever, they say, oh geez, this he's different because he's not one of those typical American heels. He's a Canadian. He's one of us, and they're desperately trying to accept someone like that, but they've never really been given a chance, to accept an American or Canadian foreigner. And it's kind of a contrast. It's much similar to like when I was in Japan. You come through there with long blonde hair, and you're coming through the crowd packed with these black Hispanics and stuff. It's like you're the one different one in the bunch, and you're so used to being booed because you're the different one, but to actually be cheered and all that, you know, it takes a little extra work to get them on your side, and once you got them, though, they're really warm to you. And but I did notice when I took the mask off that I had better eye contact and better communication with the crowd, you know, and all I'd have to do is just like a look with the eye, and they would say, yeah, you know, they go crazy. But before, when you have the mask on, you can look at them and they don't even know. I guess they don't really see your eyes as clearly, and they don't respond half as much. You really got to work harder to get a reaction, you know. But now with the mask off, you know, shake your head and your hair is waving around, and it's like they seem to get more responsive.
How is that style down there different from working in Japan?
It's not as solid, you know. They do a lot of high spots, and it's fast paced, but it's really not. You know, very rarely will you see. You know, I worked with Kinnick, and I do a few different suplexes and stuff, but there's a lot of older guys that are just kind of going through the routine, going through the motions, and they would not take too kindly if I just said, okay, I'll give you the belly-to-belly suplex, and I want to do a moonsault splash off the top rope. Like, these guys are pretty old, and you know, more better you just do, just give me a slam and a drop kick or something, you know, and it's like, you know, I don't need to make any friction. I just make a suggestion if they want to go on an easier route, then that's fine, you know, because they're older, and in some ways they have some nice little routines they do, you know, but they're, to me anyway, the crowd doesn't seem to mind it, but to me a lot of it looks too choreographed or too routine, you know, the guys picking the guy out and helping him through the spots and little tumble rolls, and, you know, it's not really solid wrestling like the Japanese style where you can haul off and chop a guy and he's got welts on him, and really send in your blows and really have like a legitimate hard fight. By the time you get back to the dressing room, you got welts and stuff all over you. Unlike Mexico, it's very, you know, I know 6-man tags, you know, every night it's 6-man tags. And so basically you just do one little spot, and just one guy tag out, and the other two guys do their spot, and the other two do your finish, and that's the first fall, you know. Second fall, you do another high spot with a different guy, and it's real slack, you know. It's not hard, but for me, you know, people say, oh, wow, that must be easy, 6-man tags. But I really do prefer just doing single matches where I can, I have at least 50% of the match where I can control it. You know, if I'm working with a Kinnick or a Bolano or whoever's on top there, then we can have equal input, you know. But when you got 6 guys, that means 5 other guys controlling, and then you just kind of if it's a bad match, if they're all bad, then even if you want to have a good one, you just kind of throw it in, and it kind of neutralizes whatever good you might have for the match.
Yeah. That was Owen Hart in an interview conducted September 22nd, 1991 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We hope to be talking to Owen Hart again. Next issue will feature the final piece with Owen Hart, myself, and Reverend Mark. Right now, as a tribute to Dick the Bruiser, we will be playing the interview which aired on PBS, I believe, last summer with Dick the Bruiser, and we'll be spreading that out over a few issues.
Yeah, Jeff, that's just typical. You're trying to make a buck off a man's reputation.
John, I am not trying to make a buck off anything. You go up and you look at my ledger. Out of the 2 years that I've been doing this show, I have showed a profit 3 months out of those 2 years.
Yeah, I know you haven't shown any profit. Do I get any money from my efforts, from my contributions I make to Cassette Wrestling News? Do I?
No.
Okay, then.
We will be reviewing that interview, which was done on PBS. Anyway, on to news. Referee passed away in Mexico City, I believe. Mexico City, Mexico.
That's usually where it is.
I know. It involved a match with Conan, and I can't recall the name of the referee, but...
the referee, it is rumored that I've heard from my sources, this referee didn't die from the match. He saw the El Matador angle with Tito Santana. He killed over dead.
Please.
Talk about an insult to a great Mexican institution, bullfighting. Tito Santana and Vince McMahon have sunk to an all-new low.
Yeah, Jeff, in my opinion, it's another attempt by Vince McMahon to exploit another nationality.
It's absolutely racist. For once, I have to agree with this hippie sitting on my left. It's just something that El Matador. It just, and the whole angle surrounding it just bite my crap.
John, please.
Well, look, McMahon did it first with Saba Simba. Took took a halfway decent wrestler and put him in an African tribesman uniform.
He's done that with Coco Ware, turned him into a dancing man and all this crap.
Mr.
All that. But hey, let's get on to this Conan story. It was rumored that the referee died from a heart attack in the ring, and it is Mexican tradition to bury the person who died the day after their death. And they did so, but later the autopsy showed that he had brain hemorrhages, and this may have been caused by kicks from Conan.
I heard it was only 2 kicks, Jeff. 2 kicks, and Conan killed a man.
I don't like that Conan guy. He's a barbarian.
John, will you please? Another thing that I did want to talk about is our Man of the Year.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
No, John, no. All you people out there, I want you to send in your vote
for John Seaton.
For the guy who you think got, or it could be the Lady of the Year. You never know. We do have a Lady of the Year.
That would be you.
John, send in your vote for the person who has done the most for professional wrestling this year, who has stuck their neck out for professional wrestling and done nothing but good for professional wrestling. We want to.
You're talking about me. You've got to be. Come on. You know you're doing it.
I've got 2 or 3 people in mind for this award, but I want to hear from you, the fans. And speaking of our awards, our 1991 awards, I'll be sending out ballots very, very shortly. I want each and every one of you to cast your votes. Last year we had a few ties. We don't want that this year. We want winners, no ties. So, John, you don't have to dress up. Just kidding. And I'm also tossing around the idea of a video yearbook. So we'll wait and see how that develops. And I was reading in the Torch something that really irked me about Jim Herd, which is nothing new.
I want him taken out.
Where are you going to take him? Anyway, speaking of taking
mortuary, maybe?
Oh, come on. Taking somebody out, Ken Herbeck, a baseball player for the world champion Minnesota Twins, was sliding into first. He did a single leg takedown on Ron Gant.
Textbook takedown, Jeff.
Yeah,
textbook.
right.
I saw it.
And then Jim Herd gets the audacity. He wants to give Herbeck a tryout. If he is going to do this, I said this in Bullshit last time, Brian Trammell wrestles as the BT Express, and his mask is so neat looking, it would get over with the kids. And if I think if Trammell sent his videotape to Herd, that he would get hired. Herd, in my opinion, will hire anybody. Even you could get a job there, John.
Ratings would soar. You know it would.
All right. Anyway, it's just.
But John, you'd be close to Jim Herd, and you could take him out.
Would I do that thing? Would I do that?
I don't know. You're telling me.
Now, folks, we just heard Joe Goodhart a little bit ago talking about his buddy versus buddy match.
I like Joe Goodhart. I used to call him Joe Goodcard. But bringing a man the age of Buddy Rogers out of retirement to wrestle against a man who is in the prime of his career, they did this before in the 70s with Ric Flair and Buddy Rogers. And Buddy Rogers, he does not belong in a wrestling ring. He make an excellent commentator. He was a tremendous athlete in his day, but he's not belonging in the ring. They're asking for some serious problems with bringing a man that age into the ring. We're talking some serious physical problems. This man could just very well keel over in the ring, Jeff.
John, please do not distort. I don't know. Buddy says he's in shape. I've talked to a few people saying, no, he's not in shape. And, stories get twisted. You just have to wait and see. I doubt if you'll go up there anyway, so why are you griping about it?
Hey, my wife's pregnant, okay?
All right. As I said, I believe last issue, I got the 2020 segment with Eddie Mansfield. And here, Eddie Mansfield is down in Florida starting up a group again after he exposed the business to the maximum point of virtual disaster. And this idiot is trying to make a buck off professional wrestling. This irks me. Instead of John Stossel, I wish that David Schultz would have gone after Eddie Mansfield.
Yeah, Dave, if you're out there, go get him, buddy.
No contracts out on anybody's head, all right, John? He exposed the blading.
You know what, Jeff? You know what Eddie Mansfield is? You know what the term smegma means?
John!
Smegma is the collection of dirt and oil mixture that usually gets on your penis.
Oh God!
When you get in there and you're taking a crap, and you reach down and Abe Mansfield is smegma. He's smegma on the penis. All I've got to say about it.
I got to agree with John on that one, Jeff.
Listen to the hippie.
John, I can't believe that outburst. I'm going to...
Don't you dare edit.
It's going to be edited. It already is.
Smegma is a scientific term, Jeff.
Sorry. But anyway, you know, I was a non-believer of the blade thing. I said, no, there's no way they could use the blade. There's no way. I didn't believe it. This was, I believe, my sophomore year. And this thing came out, and I saw him take the blade across his forehead. And then later that night, I said, this can't be true. So what I did, I watched the Tommy Rich tape, and lo and behold, Tommy went in the wristband. And my being a mark, not a sort of a half mark, I lost a little bit of my markness that night, and I've never been the same. And I think Eddie Mansfield should be eternally blackballed from professional wrestling.
Or shot.
He can get sued for that.
You gotta be smegmanized.
John, let's move on to some other things. Right now, we're going to go to a fan of yours, John. I'm ashamed to admit it. Joe Messinio from Australia. Take it away.
Mate.
All right, standing tall, looking good, as I should, ought to be in Hollywood. It is Joe from Australia here to enlighten you people on some stuff happening. Okay, we first have, my first point is the AWF, which is run by Gordon Scottard. It appears that certain trouble merchants in the sheep business are out to stick it up good old Gordy. Don't make the mistake of comparing the AWF to the UWF. It's like saying Joan of Arc is Noah's wife. Gordon, ignore the rednecks and make yourself a million. Dr. Mike Lano, King Yudiska. I have a question for the doc. This is not meant to be sarcastic. What is your beef with Torberg and the LPWA? If you could respond in your next bit, I would appreciate it, if you will, in public even. I don't agree with your TNA theory of yours and Mueller's. In issue 58, I made a bit of a horses behind it myself. Let me clear a couple of things up here. I meant what I said. Re the abilities of the great Barry Horowitz. The rest was done in jest and should be taken as such. All my screaming and carry on was just a joke. But the message was still very true. I apologise for my foul language, as it won't happen again. I'd like to thank Mr. Horowitz and Gordy Scazzari for sending me the autographed picky. It takes pride of place next to my bloody Cactus Jack picture. Speaking of cussing and swearing, if you will, yes, John seems to be digging his heels in on the words hell, damn, and that M word, which ends in urbate. I have checked the Webster's dictionary, and in their book, damn and hell are in there. So damn, 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 hell, 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 and a M word, M word, M word. Last and by no means least, Reverend Mark, you cheapskate tightwad GC London bashing preacher. Where's my best of 6-hour Barry Horowitz tape? I buy all your albums, show complete markdom faith, and you dupe me off. If you're wondering where your organ is, I have it and I'm holding it as hostage. If you want it back, get back and send it. Okay, folks, I'm going to depart the scene. I'll leave you with my prophecy. Joe's prophecy number 8. Erotic is using a feather as a sex aid. Kinky is using the whole duck. Goodbye.
All right, thank you very much. And right now, Joe. Right now, I want to give the address here on subscription rates.
Jeff, why don't you give me the address?
All right. The address for Cassette Wrestling News is $3 for a sample issue, $16 for 6 issues of CWN. And hey, I'll even do the $8 deal for 3 issues. Take your pick. Anyway, $16 for the 6 issues. We are published not on any set schedule, but periodically, every 10 to 14 days, you'll get an hour of action-packed professional wrestling, except when John and I are talking. And especially when you were talking about what you were talking about a while ago. But, Harv, I understand you're... Smegma! John! Harv's, we've got a new tape here. I haven't heard. I understand you've heard it, Harv, but we're going to go to it right now.
Yeah, Jeff, these guys are, well, I'll just let them stand for themselves. This is a new commentary tape, and this is going to be called The Seth and Joshua Show.
All right. Welcome to the Seth and Josh Show. I'm
You first.
You bastard, I can't even remember your name.
Screw you.
Ah, you'd like to if you could get it up. I'm Seth.
I'm Joshua, and we're here to talk about the world of professional wrestling. What's going on? What is the big match going around the horn?
Well, John Lewis and the other guy who's
It's boxing, you ass.
It's gotta be Rick Hogan and Hulk Flair. Down the main event wrestling's gonna be on right now later. But
yes, I remember the old days of Frank Crotch and all those wrestlers.
Don't forget George Hackham-Smith and Jimmy Londos, a couple of hell of a lungsters. Slender.
What? You remember when we used to gather?
No.
I don't either. We'll see you next time.
What?
Okay, the very warped commentary from those two guys. I guess we hope to be hearing more. Well, let's get on. I forgot to give the address, John.
Jeff, why don't you give them the address?
The address for Cassette Wrestling News, Jeff Osborne, 3420 New Harmony Road, Evansville, Indiana, 47720. Yeah, I almost forgot my own zip code. And if you would like to get a hold of me, call me at 812-425-5460.
And for the record, I will have it known that you cannot reach me at that address or at that telephone number. So in case you're thinking of suing me or talking to me in any way, shape, or form, forget it.
Okay. All right, next issue. Hopefully, I will be playing the Buddy Rogers and Dennis Carluso interview. I've been holding off on those. It's on a micro cassette, and the tape is a little warped. And I want to thank Mike Lano for sending me these interviews. Jeez. Anyway, results from around the horn on the Flair Hogan matches are between 2 3/4 stars and 4 stars. The match I saw, I would give 2 stars, and both for Flair. The Oakland match sent to me by Peter Hines out in California. John, Hogan missed about 3 moves. The match was terrible.
Hulk Hogan's not used to being in the ring with the caliber of an athlete as Ric Flair, and it just shows. He's botching up moves left and right. Hey, quit your coughing, hippie. We'll throw you off the set. Sorry. Anyway, Ric Flair is clearly outshining Hulk Hogan. It's obvious. It's obvious, Jeff.
Yeah, after seeing that match, Jeff, Flair carried the whole match.
I gotta agree with you there. I thought Hogan was gonna try, but I think come WrestleMania, we're going to see the super match between the two superpowers of Hulk Hogan and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Also there's talk of Vince McMahon shoving Sergeant Slaughter down our throats as the real American hero now.
I want my country back.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. And then Flair is supposedly supposed to beat Sergeant Slaughter. Then as a retirement match, Hulk Hogan beats Ric Flair. But the big story that you wanted to talk about, John, is the letting go of Missy Hyatt, and I don't even know if I should let him do this. Missy Hyatt and Jeannie Clark, as well as Teddy Long, will be let go from WCW.
Well, Jeff, it's their loss. I hear they're going to go to LPWA and form a tag team called the Cleavage of Doom. It's just another example of WCW botching it. I will never watch their infantile show again. There's no breasts.
John, what do you mean infantile? You're sitting there, there's dirt on the side of my dad's car, and you draw a picture of a naked lady. Come on. And you're talking about juvenile and infantile? Please.
Jeff, that picture on the side of this fine Nova happens to be my image of what my wife will look like when she's giving birth to my bouncing baby boy.
How do you know it's a boy? Your family is cursed with girls.
Little you know, Jeff.
Yeah.
If it don't have a pecker floating around in that amniotic fluid, floating around in that uterus, that womb, whatever the hell they call it, hey, I don't want it. It's got to be a boy. It's got to have like a little French fry pecker floating around in her somewhere.
John! Will you please? This is professional wrestling.
Pro wrestling, Jeff!
Okay, we're going to sign off this issue number 61. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and I apologize for John using the S word.
And I might want to add as a last word, the next show we do, I don't want any hippies around here. Only hippie I want here is you.
Are you attracted to me, John?
Yes.
Okay. Folks, we had a little bit of fun this issue. Next issue, we hope to have more interviews. The final piece of Owen Hart. Until next time, this is Jeff Osborne.
And John Seaton, speaking for the hippie Harvey Krantz.
Saying, keep your shoulders off the mat.
And keep reaching for the ropes. Damn it.
All right.
some late breaking news as we go to press. Jeff Jarrett may be turning heel in the Memphis area. Also, ticket information for the American Wrestling Federation can be obtained by calling area code 908-775-0959. Asbury Park, New Jersey has one heck of a card. Mike Sharp opens up against Dutch Mantell. Barry Horowitz and Bob Orton, managed by Boss Hogg Ronnie P. Gossett, takes on Tim Horner and possibly Jeff Jarrett, forming the new Lightning Express. Bob Backlund will be held off of this card for a future angle. Danny Spivey and Steve Williams will be in an explosion match. There must be a pinfall, and Gordon Scazzari is calling this a lawsuit match because another lawsuit is that Abrams says that he has these two men under exclusive contracts and all this, but hey, let's get on with it. Jeff Gaylord, Sunny Beach will take on Eddie Gilbert and Tony Anthony. Should be interesting. Ronnie Garvin and Stan Lane will take on the Original Sheik and Sabu. And this is dedicated to Joe Goodhart. Paul Orndorff will take on Nikita. Nikita Koloff will be managed by Eddie Gilbert. Again, ticket information for the American Wrestling Federation, 908-775-0959. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster right now. I want to take a short time out to give a quick plug to Peter Hines of Omni Press. That's 132 El Camino Road, San Carlos, California, 94070. He has a set of 31 cards featuring Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, Eddie Gilbert, Eric Embry, Ric Flair, Danny Spivey, and many more. The set of 31 cards are $4 postage paid, and they're very interesting. They give a little bio on back of each card, and they'll be pretty collectible because he does not make very many of these cards. So check those out. That's Peter Hines at Omni Press, 132 El Camino Road, San Carlos, or El Camino Real, I'm sorry, San Carlos, California, 94070. Check them out, $4.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Saturday, May 2nd, handsome Jimmy Valiant is coming to Tupelo for TupeloCon. Sunday, May 3rd, WWE Hall of Famer Boogie Woogie Main Jimmy Valiant returns to the Wrestle Center, presented by Cinco de Mayo Bar and Grill. Friday, May 8th, Southern Extreme Wrestling presents Brutally Savage in Forest City, Arkansas, featuring Brutal Bob Evans. Sunday, May 31st, Big Vito is coming to Memphis Wrestling, presented by Cinco de Mayo Bar and Grill. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Attention wrestling fans, do you want to watch every WWE premium live event no matter where you are in the world? Well, I've got the ultimate tag team partner for you, Surfshark VPN. With Surfshark, you can unlock content from anywhere on the globe. What this means is no more block streams, no more restrictions, just wall-to-wall action. Imagine catching WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series live no matter what country you're in. And here's the best part. By using my affiliate link, which is tinyurl.com/, it's a backslash, it's VPN STS Talk. You'll also score an exclusive huge savings plus an extra 3 months absolutely free. That's right, 3 bonus months of unlimited access, total online privacy, and the power to stream every WWE pay-per-view like a true champion. And don't get counted out. Hit the link. It is tinyurl.com/, that's a backslash, it's VPN STS Talk. Go to that link and make sure you never miss a single second of the action again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step in the ring with pain relief. When back pain, neck pain, and stress tries to body slam you into the mat, there's only one tag team partner you can trust.
Vitality Chiropractic in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. The champions of chiropractic care. With a dedicated team of professionals, they're not just adjusting spines, they're adjusting lives. Whether you're battling aches, pains, or just need to feel like a brand new you, Vitality Chiropractic has the moves to get you back on top of your game. Personalized care, effective treatments, and a commitment to your health and vitality.
You don't have to tap out to pain. Pick up the phone. Dial 870-523-2225. That is 870-523-2225, brother. And schedule your appointment today. Vitality Chiropractic serving Jonesboro and Newport. Step in the ring with pain and walk out a champion of health. Vitality Chiropractic, because your spine deserves the main event. 1, 2, 3. Wrestling fans, are you ready? Every Friday night in Osceola, Arkansas, MCW, the legacy continues. Live, hard-hitting, family-friendly wrestling action every Friday night at the MCW Arena, located at 1098 West Kaiser. Doors open at 6:30 and the action starts at 8 p.m. sharp. Don't miss your chance to see the stars of MCW battling out in the ring, rivals, drama, and slam-packed action. Here's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, I want you to search Facebook for Osceola's Mid-Southern Championship Wrestling. All ticket information, how to get your ticket, what time the show starts, everything right there on Facebook. All tickets are on sale right now. Be there! All right, folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best-selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant reapplication. Whether it's solo time or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience, Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod. STSPOD for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid, the best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more. Because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life. This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. You want the best, you got the best. The best little wrestling podcast in the business. All episodes on www.stspod.club. Did you enjoy that episode? Cash app us at $BTSTS. If you've never downloaded the Cash App, download it today. You'll get a free, that's right, a free $5 for using the code $BTSTS. That's $BTSTS. Hey, thanks for joining us for another great episode of Shooting the Shiznut. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all our sponsors. Remember, you can go to stspod.club, link of all links, and get all our links. That's right, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, Memphis Wrestling YouTube, Facebook, everything, and many, many more right there, including our sponsors. And remember, all episodes are at one place, and that's stspod.club. Now, how about our podcast roll call? Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony. Po' Boys podcast with my old buddy Jody B. P3 Radio with Josh and Richard. Gene Jackson has a trio of shows I listen to every week. It's Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert, the Retro Wrestling Podcast Archives, and search the Retro Wrestling Review Show. It's a USWA podcast with Gene Jackson and Richard and Josh from P3 Radio. Hey guys, thanks again. And remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.